For Elsie, sharing her story with the public wasn't an easy task, but it created room for other women to speak out.
So I think for me, how I thought about reaching out to other endometriosis patients or potential patients who did not know what they were going through was I began sharing my story through my social media platforms. And media houses reached out and they wanted to interview me, and they just wanted to hear about like what I was going through. And so that was the first step. So sharing my pain, and just making sure that another woman who was out there was not feeling alone. But she understood that one, her condition has a name. She's not alone as she's suffering. And there's probably a solution. It's not a permanent solution, but there is a solution. So then I was able to create a community online, a page online that women could just join and come and just really just share their struggles. But drawing out women who suffer with endometriosis to make them talk about it is very difficult because it's a taboo conversation. So I remember my mom used to panic sometimes when she would hear that, I'm going on air to talk about this. She'd be like, do you have to? And I'm like, you know what? Think about the big picture. Think about the young girl who doesn't even understand what she's going through and how many people this will be able to help. And indeed, I began to see the impact that my sharing, the sharing of my story had on other women, even just some members of society, just for other people to be able to understand that, wow, this condition has a name. Like, it was just such an eye-opener for a lot of women, for a lot of people in society. So I thought, let me also go further, register an organization. So started the foundation, and now we are working around just being very deliberate and conscious about raising awareness about this condition, making sure that the public understands what endometriosis, we better the understanding. And we also want to now go into doing some research, trying to understand, like really, really how does, the condition impact the quality of a woman's life, one. Secondly, can we also just try and do some research just around us, finding out like how many people in the country have been impacted by endometriosis, and certainly what types of intervention that, have they been resorting to, and can we then also improve by making sure as we raise awareness, can we make sure that we influence policy and we influence government to make sure that in each of the centers in the country, in the county hospital, in the county facilities, that there is someone who understands the condition.
Elsie says her previous employer provided opportunities that bore ideas for the Heroes for Change program that has reached a large number of people.
Within the organization that I used to work with previously at Unilever, provided us employees to come up with ideas that could help the organization live out its sustainable living plan. So Unilever has got a the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. It's called the USOP. And that's where I came up with the idea of Heroes for Change. So we came up with it and we crafted it, part of, with other team members. And, I thought about it, I was like, there are young people out there who are looking for employment opportunities, but they don't have that now. They want to participate in transforming their communities, but they don't have that platform. But what do we have? We've got the programs, we've got the resources as an organization called Unilever. Why don't we just equip them? Why don't we just take some time, train them, and then we send them out there to deploy some of the programs that we're working on? And I tell you, the passion is unreal. And what I ended up seeing, one, is for these young people who were thinking that they need skills and they need resources from here to China and back, they just said, if you just train me with one thing, it awakens that passion and purpose that is within them. Instantly, they realize, within my community, I have clout. they can listen to me, so I can talk to them about anything. If I have an idea, I can mobilize them, I can bring them together and show them, for example, how to wash their hands with soap and water. I can teach them, like I can tell them about this soap. I can tell them probably there's an opportunity for us to invest together as mothers, so I saw that happen, and I've seen that happen continually for 2 years. And so for me, I keep saying, if you share your purpose, you're one step ahead. If you how you open that door for someone else is by handing them an opportunity. So you don't necessarily have to give them money. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be. It's just sharing your story. Just inspire someone else to know that, hey, this opportunity is not too far away from them, and they have the opportunity of just transforming the people who are around them. Heroes for Change started because we were looking for a way of scaling up our social impact programs as Unilever. And we thought it's a perfect opportunity to collaborate with young people who are passionate also about their communities. They have the resource of time, and they're trusted within their communities. So we thought, let's equip them, let's train them about the programs that we're doing. And some of the programs I'm talking about is hand washing with soap, brushing teeth, like for example for kids. There was just other nutrition programs. So all of them just focusing around how can we help drive behavior change, especially among school children. So recruit them, of course, using social media. So we would invite people to just send in their applications, and it's just simple, like, are you passionate about your community? There's no real criteria we're looking for. The only one that was mandatory was just ensuring that they were university students from particular regions around the country.
The far I have reached, I am proud of the purpose my initiative is serving to the society.
I feel like I unlocked my purpose. I am sure. So people ask me, so after I left Unilever, now I am my own employer. Am I living out my purpose? I'm like, absolutely. I'm leading these 3 organizations, all of them touching the same kind of target audience that each one of them is talking to. And I'm like, I am doing the thing that I'm passionate about, even without being paid. Like, I can, it's if you don't pay me, I'm fine. I can do it. And that's the difference between your purpose and another thing. Your purpose is the thing that will wake you up in the morning, that will keep you up all night, and you will do it without thinking about it. Like, it's not anything that you will be constrained doing. You will always find a solution to do it. Like, you'll never be stuck. There'll always be a solution. And it doesn't matter how big the challenge is or how small, somehow you'll be able to accomplish it.
Success entails overcoming every challenge that comes along your way.
And some of the challenges, I think, is just, for example, scaling up some of the interventions, like some of the programs that we are seeking to do, trying to make sure that we can be able to recruit more young people, just the resourcing, getting the resources to be able to even just build our tech platform. It's very, very expensive. Those are some of the challenges, but it's not like we're not thinking about how to overcome them. But the other challenge is also just in terms of just making sure that you get into the right partnerships, because you always want to make sure that you get the right partner to deliver the proper interventions and the proper programs. Because I think without that, when you get into when we've gotten into wrong partnerships, then it's just eaten into our time, eaten into our resources, and which I feel is just a waste of time. It's never the best thing. And the other challenge is because We are inviting young people to volunteer their time. Sometimes there's that expectation that, we will be a solution to all their problems. And sometimes balancing that is never easy.
There is a large support system that has played role in making Elsie's initiatives a success, and for that, she is very thankful.
I would love to just thank, the big people that I'd love to thank is, of course, Justin Apsi, who is the MD for Unilever East Africa, without whom, just because of how passionate he is about purpose, just made sure that, Heroes for Change was able to spin off and was able to stand on its own 2 feet. And then, of course, I thank my boss and my friend. She's called Professor Miriam Sidibe. She's one of few Africans, few people around the world who have a PhD in hand washing. So she has been very instrumental in just teaching me about why it's important to have a mission-driven organization, and that's what I believe Heroes for Change and the other organizations I lead are about. And of course, I would not be where I am without my father's and mother's support and my siblings. I love you guys, and yeah.
Strive to leave a legacy that ought to be remembered.
If you stop focusing on yourself and make it about other people, I promise you, it'll become easier to implement, because I think you'll never get enough for yourself. You'll always want the next new phone. You'll always want the next new laptop. You always want the next big thing. But if you are the only person who is comfortable, and you look around your community and there is nothing that reflects like how you've participated in changing that, I'd ask you to take a step back. What legacy do you want to leave here on this earth? That you drove the fanciest cars? People forget that. People forget the richest people, but they never forget the people who make an impact in their lives, who change their lives. And so that, for me, I think is the biggest ask for young people. What legacy do you want to leave in your in the people who are around you? What will you be remembered for?